Everyone I know. 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 Welcome to Everyone I Know, the podcast where we argue about the mundane. We're here again in the Troy Castle, in the Troy Paradise, in this Troy Oasis in the middle of the Troy Desert. I'm here with my producer, Brendan.
That did not describe our location at all.
We're in Troy, baby. That's all you need to know. South Troy, the best part of Troy, because it's furthest away from the rest of Troy. I'm not here with my brother Chris today because the bastards finally ground him down and he hasn't slept in like 3 days because of Cyber Week. So fuck you. I hope you guys are very happy with your 72-inch TVs and your fucking cat socks. You killed him. You killed my brother. Thanks, guys. Everyone I Know is also brought to you by Audible.com. You can get a free trial, a 30-day trial, and a free book at audibletrial.com/EIK. I'm doing my brother's part of this, and it's not easy. Also, Everyone I Know is supported by our new Patreon page because podcast advertising sucks, right? I don't want to sell a security system. I don't want to sell fucking supplements. I'm not Joe Rogan.
I'll sell supplements. There's a lot of money in supplements that don't do anything.
But that's the problem. I can't do that in good conscience, Brendan. I'm a man of principles, and I'm not going to
a man of science.
I'm a man of science, and I'm not going to sell you fucking snake oil unless you want to go to audibletrial.com/EIK.
Yeah, you can buy all the Deepak Chopra books you want on there.
Exactly. But you can also go to patreon.com and give us $1 a month. Or go fuck yourself. Or you can not give us $1 a month and go fuck yourself anyway. The going and fucking yourself part is completely free. That's our gift to you. We have the pleasure of having a second-time guest
without
coming.
Chris to bounce off of, you're just...
I sound like a crazy person without Chris here. We have the pleasure of having a second-time guest on. This guest we met at the Madison Poorhouse. Purveyors of fine drink and fine times. What's up, Rod?
What's going on, guys?
Not much. How you been?
I've been good. I'm glad to be back. Still anti-circumcision, so there's that.
Leave it the way it came out.
Yep. No genital mutilation.
Did you have to put the bike back in the corral for the winter?
Yeah, a little sooner than I expected.
Yeah.
It got really cold really quick. I did a short trip to West Virginia camping on Veterans Day weekend, and after that I rode one time and put it away because it's just too damn cold.
Yep. Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
I know it'll come back around.
Without further ado, we're gonna have Brendan read the Old Man Minute. For those who are new to the cast, every week our father, me and my brother's father, not Brendan's father,
not my father,
either. Not Rod's father either, sends a recap of the last week's episode, and it's a gimmick to get you to listen to other episodes.
But if you know where my father is, and you can have him send me a letter,
please.
I might read it. Greetings, EIK fellas. I took Vader to the Cleveland Clinic last week, where she dragged me to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and then Les Miserables. There's 6 hours of my life I'll never get back. Onward! Topic 111. Bar trivia. I only did bar trivia once. That was with you guys and the Hosies. I can hold my own, except when it comes to sports. Just like you. Sorry, boys. Topic 2. Dead musicians. You neglected to mention some that I really do miss. Jim Morrison, Jim Croce, I think that's how it's pronounced.
Oh.
Harry Nilsson, Bob Marley, Frank Zappa, and Warren Zevon. Kindly do not lump Vader and me in with those dirty, hippie, crybaby boomers. We were born at the end of that era and do not identify with them. Topic 3. The War on Thanksgiving. As I have said numerous times, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Ever since I found Alton Brown's brining recipe, I won't cook turkey any other way. Last year, I brought my new bucket to brine the turkey. Vader saw it in the shopping cart and said, "You don't need that. We have that green bucket." I responded, "The one your father used to soak his feet in? I think not. You do have to appreciate Vader's frugality. Love, old man." P.S. The Ruskies are planning a probe to the moon. They jokingly said they were going to verify if the U.S. actually landed there. Alex must have one super stiffy.
I really like the nice baritone that you set my father's email to. It gives him some serious gravitas.
Yeah, there was a lot of directions I could have gone with that one, and I decided to go with.
Yeah, it was like classic, almost like what's his name? Oh fuck, what's the guy with the nice voice? All of them. All the guys have nice voices.
you.
Thanks. Without further ado, we're moving on now to topic. Number one. All right, topic 1 is me. So I was thinking over the weekend, I went out to eat with the lovely Olivia, and I went to a diner. And I went to the diner about 12 noon, and I found that this is basically brunch at this point, right? Because if it's past, I think 10, it's no longer breakfast. It's become brunch. But I started getting a funny feeling because I was in a diner. I was not in a brunch spot. And I wanted to talk about the differences between diners and brunch spots. I have a clear perspective on this, but I think that maybe I should just say it right now and say that I'm team diner all the way.
Yes.
Okay.
Brunch is just a more expensive diner experience.
Yes. So let's compare the two. When you walk into a diner, what do you see?
Booths.
Booths. They don't have those at brunch spots.
Not always.
They have it in some.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another thing that's very prevalent at a diner that's not usually at a brunch spot is
Older waitresses.
Yes, older, mean waitresses.
They don't necessarily have to
I
be
like
mean, but they're
'em-
definitely old and not necessarily clean.
Right, and I like that. I don't know, it's something to talk about with my therapist later, but I do like a waitress that's slightly mean to me. I like someone to keep me in line, make sure I don't fuck up the order or get too nervous.
Someone that is very aware that they're your server, not your servant.
Yes, that is something that I...
Young ladies will often just be too nice when it's just like, no, just you have to be your own person.
Exactly.
I have strong diner opinions because, and this is something that I'm going to explain because people who are not regional might not understand this. There are like almost no 24-hour diners in the capital region.
Yeah.
There's a couple, but not really. I'm from downstate where in order to be a diner,
You have to be
you are
24
24 hours. And the transition when I moved up here was very difficult to make because I love diners. And then to come up here and it be like, what do you mean the diner's closed? That's not a diner then.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Diner's like a church. You can always wander in and confess your sins.
I love diners though. Diner definitely better than any brunch spot. I like me a brunch spot mostly because you can get alcohol too usually with your stuff. But there's nothing better than a diner. There's nothing finer.
Are you
than a
comfortable
diner.
saying what diner you went to?
Yeah, I went to Jack's Diner. It was over on Central.
No, I know where it is.
I love Jack's Diner.
Really? Okay.
I like it. It's very nice. It's small. People there are nice. The food's good. I don't know.
Do you ever travel for diners?
Do I have a travel?
Like, do you go
do I
far
go
out of your way for diners?
Not usually. I've been to a number of diners all over the place. The other one that we went to a while ago is called Farmer Boy. It's like way the hell down Central.
Yeah.
It's pretty good too. One of the things that I will say about diners that I do enjoy quite a bit is that they're cheap. Diners are often a lot cheaper than a brunch spot. And they don't give you any of these frou-frou ingredients. Like, you're not going to get fucking goat cheese on anything, ever, at a diner.
Nor should you.
Nor should you, exactly. You're not going to get anything with blood oranges. Sorry, guys. You guys are drinking your blood orange IPA. You're not drinking an IPA, or you're drinking something
I'm drinking
else.
an IPA. It's a Julius. It's like hoity-toity IPA. It's not,
No blood oranges.
no blood orange.
Blood oranges taste the same as regular oranges. Shut up, everybody.
I feel like also with diners, there's two kinds of class of people that go to diners. There's normal people who order either breakfast or lunch food, and then there's very old people that order dinner food.
Yes.
I have never seen a young person order dinner food at a diner.
You're not going to get
Like
the
who
prime
gets
rib.
like spaghetti and meatballs at a diner?
The old
I
guy
can't
with...
say I haven't.
Yeah,
But it all depends on how hungover I am when I go to the diner.
fair. Or maybe we're just getting old.
Yeah, well, that too.
Or drunk. Because if I'm drunk, I'll have something with cheese that I shouldn't have.
One of the big things that a hallmark of a diner that I think is inextricable from the diner is the bar. Like you eat at the bar if you're by yourself for some reason, if you're, you've lost your friends. One of my favorite things is that there's generally an old guy at the bar that sits there for maybe like 4 hours reading the paper. And if this was an earlier decade, smoking cigarettes, but now he's got oxygen instead. So that's always a good one. How do you guys feel about diner coffee?
Oh, I hate it, but I love it. I
Yeah,
still have to have it, and I
Yeah.
can't. And like the good thing about diners, it's also the horrible thing about diners that they don't have like milk substitutes.
No.
Like you're not gonna ask for like almond milk
No.
because they won't have it, and they will look at you funny and never like you after that point. So you just have to like for me, I just have to have it black, which I don't usually have. So I have to taste all the awfulness of that coffee, with no way to like really divert myself from like that how bad it is. But I kind of appreciate that because it makes me like work for what I need,
Yeah.
It's part
which
of
is
the
the drug
experience.
of the coffee.
Which is why I enjoy the slightly mean wait staff. Like
The shitty, uncomfortable chairs.
yes, it's all about bringing you back to your roots. Saying you're not so fancy. You don't deserve brunch. Okay, you're not getting a mimosa today. You're getting some shitty coffee and some orange juice from concentrate
And a Corona, maybe.
and a Corona if you're lucky.
What's your go-to like meal at a diner then?
I don't know. I mean, like I will sometimes just go like bacon, egg, and cheese or sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich.
So are you a breakfast diner person?
I'm a
Do you go for
breakfast
the
diner
breakfast food?
person,
Like
yeah.
no matter what time of day?
No matter what time of the day. That's why you go to the diners because they have the breakfast food all day. I will sometimes get a couple eggs and toast, but the problem is that I don't know the different terms for types of eggs, and that's really troubling to me. I understand that they're different. There's easy over, there's sunny side up.
You already got one wrong, but that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's over easy, but that's okay.
Fine, okay. That's why I need the wait staff.
Sunny
to
side up is
keep
not
me in line.
I'm pretty sure you guys went over this on like your first or second episode.
The different
Should
types
have
of
learned it then. And you haven't learned it
over
yet.
easy is flipped once.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the top gets
Sunny
the
side
white
up is just
It's just
you
regular
put it in
fried
to
egg.
stay that
Yeah, okay. Then what else do we got?
scrambled.
Scrambled.
You're just over hard if you hate yourself.
Yeah, if you like a dick.
Yeah. Over medium's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you order it over medium at a diner, you're either going to get over easy or over hard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's no specificity.
Now,
That's
at
something
a brunch place, they'll give you a nice over medium.
right, and that's the thing that I think is important to point out at diner is you got to go to a diner correct. You can't go there and order eggs Benedict like Chris did once.
Oh, I do that all the
Oh,
time.
what are you talking about? I get eggs
That's what I
Benedict
always
is- That's
do.
what I was going to say. My go-to.
That's my
is.
go-to.
At a diner.
Unless I feel like it's a
Fuck
very,
yeah.
very clean place, then I'll have sausage and like the sausage and gravy like one because
Yeah,
I can't always have it, but I'll have it if it's a good place. But eggs Benedict, that's your
that's your baseline.
that's your
Yeah.
yardstick. That's your
I feel like eggs Benedict is a complicated dish.
No, because at the diner, they're not making that hollandaise
dude.
sauce,
Yeah.
man. That's made from like a powder.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah,
like
Nobody's sitting back there emulsifying
they're not
that
really
shit.
really poaching it. They're just like spraying some water and putting the a lid over it for a second, and it's fine.
okay,
Yeah,
all right.
that is always my go-to, especially
right,
if I go to
eggs
a new
Benedict.
diner. The first thing I have is eggs Benedict.
All right. Well, I didn't know that. That is now my new yardstick to measure it by.
It should be. They always put way too much hollandaise sauce on it.
Oh yeah,
Which is okay.
because somebody complained once. That's
Oh, yeah.
why. Chris actually did get eggs Benedict from some place that we went to, and the sauce was broken. And I was like, you shouldn't have ordered.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. And you eat it anyway, and you like it
Oh, absolutely.
because you got to taste that coffee out of your mouth.
My favorite kind of diners are like the metal box diners. They're just like a big fucking like slab of metal, and you feel like you're inside
legally,
a garage.
only Greek people are allowed to own those.
Is that real?
Yes.
Oh wow. How do they get away with it?
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm still trying
Had
to
me
read
going
them,
for a
and I'm
second.
it's
No,
like,
man,
eh.
it's again a downstate thing. Like downstate, every diner is owned by Greek people.
Oh yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
big
Maryland,
thing.
they're all owned by Greek people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's up here. It's not quite the same,
Most of them are Greek.
but a lot of them are. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want a good metal, like, but this is very localized, and I'm sorry for your fans in Australia or wherever, but like, in Chatham, there's a Dan's Diner.
Okay.
It's an actual like train cart.
Okay.
That was like
nice.
that is like nowhere near a train track or any kind, but like that's what it is.
That's
And-
what the style was based on.
Yeah, but it's an actual train
Yeah,
cart.
so
and
they're
it still
the
has
real
wheels,
ones are
and they
rare
like
now.
rebuilt it to the style, like to the T. The guy did like took over like 15, 20 years rebuilding this by hand, and it's awesome. And it's like so small because it's really like a train cart's width.
Yeah.
And you have just as much room as they have to cook, and it's very little on both sides.
Yeah.
And it's freaking amazing. But you
wish
got to
that-
wake up early because they close at like 1 or something.
Yeah,
like
the original diners were on tracks, and they would roll in, and they were made out of like decommissioned train cars.
Interesting.
And that's why that style is like that big silver box. But there's now everyone is just modeled after that. You don't see a lot like that are actually like made from a train car.
Yeah, no,
like
this
old
is like
school.
a
That's
legit
awesome.
old school one, and it's pretty awesome.
How's their eggs Benedict though?
They're awesome. Yeah, and you can watch him do it. So it's
Yeah,
like
that's
because they're like you can little tap him on the shoulder while he's cooking because it's that close to you. So
I think that's something that's unique to diners as well, is being able to see the cook. You know, I kind of wish that people could still smoke inside now, so that I could see the cook smoking while they mix my eggs. I don't know why, but I feel like there's something missing from me, and
Yeah,
I
Rod,
just
don't
need.
you wish your job was a cloud of smoke?
I don't at all. I hate that.
It sounds to
You
me.
can go to the South and have that experience. You can go to the Waffle House in Georgia, and the cook might be smoking, and it's not fun.
I'm sure
It's not as cool as you remember.
It just looks like so much fun in those Pall Mall ads.
No, man, you can sit in the non-smoking section, which is just the smoking section with like 10% less smoke.
Well,
It
for a
all
while,
wafts
they had
over.
like the little boxes, like they're like a little glass box.
don't remember that at
you
all.
would stay in if you were like a smoker. Like I
Oh.
when I came to this country, like I was only friend with foreigners, and they all smoked. So we would go to diners, and there was like this section that was just like a big like aquarium, like and you're just like sitting in this fishbowl, and it's just like they're all smoking in there, and it was crazy. But that was also where the AC was the best. Because they had like a huge, they have to have ventilation so you can like actually
you don't die.
survive it. Yeah. So it was actually really nice in the summer because it was like that was the only cool place because they spent all the money, all the AC money on that one unit, like that little glass box.
It's amazing. Okay, so let's talk about brunch places. Let's talk about what you see like aesthetically at a brunch place. One of the things
White women.
white women, as far as the eye can see.
Yes.
Old ones, young ones, as much as you want.
Yes.
One of the things that I was thinking about is always like weird art on the walls
Yeah.
at brunch places, and it always feels like it probably belongs to or was painted by somebody that they're friendly with, not by like, I mean, not that they're a real artist or not a real artist, but like somebody that they paid money to. I think it was more like, hey, I'll give you this painting, put it on the wall, and then you can try to sell it or
Or
whatever.
sometimes there'll be local commission. Like they'll have a little tag on it, like
Yeah.
$45.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that shit's...
I feel like most of the places brunch places that I see around here, they're like very like live, love, laugh kind of like
yeah,
places.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, this is just like
Yeah.
horrible.
They look like my mom's living room.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
Listen, dude, you gotta live, laugh, brunch.
It's so bad.
But yeah,
I hate that shit so much.
I mean, listen,
That's like one way to lose me as a friend is that if I walk into your living room and it says live, love, laugh, I'm like, oh, I gotta just fucking
That's why
die.
we're going for 13-year-old boy's bedroom in our house instead of live, laugh, love.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one or the other. One of the things that I think, I don't know, brunch places, they always feel like it's not like it's not a gym, but it has that like uplift, like they're trying to get that uplifting vibe out there for you a little bit. But I find them to be very anxiety inducing environments, which is strange because as compared to a diner, like a diner, you actually have to keep your shit together and like you can't act up or somebody might say something to you.
Yeah.
But at a brunch place, it always just feels like touchy, like mid-20s people who are like easily offended by you, just your presence, looking at them and their eggs. That's the vibe that I get from them. What do you guys think?
That's because you just stand there asking them how their eggs were cooked.
I do, because I fucking can't figure it out.
I just hate anyone that has a salad on their drink.
Okay.
And that's what they do. Like, you know what I mean? It'll be like that freaking Bloody Mary with like 15 different vegetables and fruits hanging off
Yeah.
of it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just drink your vodka like a regular person. Like, don't.
You got to be fancy, dude. It's brunch.
It's not, and it's not even good.
No.
They don't even like it. Like, I don't know anyone that legit likes Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I don't either. When I go to a brunch place, I just order eggs Benedict, but it costs $15 instead of the $7 it costs.
Right.
At the diner.
Right, exactly. What else we got? One of the things I've noticed as a motif of brunch places is that it'll be like a glass top table, and between the table and the glass will be like theater tickets. Like that's like a common thing I see all the time. It's just like different shows like Cats and Rent and other stuff that the clientele probably are way into. You guys have an experience with that at all?
No.
No.
No? All right. We got to let's go to brunch this weekend.
I just know that the diner places will have all the business cards melded into one piece of paper.
Yes.
That you can see everyone that like paid like whatever. I don't even know how much it would
$50.
cost. Like it's got to be less than that. They're just like Joe's fucking metal salvage place and like the whatever painters like, and it's like just this collage of like bad business cards. And I kind of love it because there's always something that is like inappropriate.
I'm now realizing I haven't been to a diner in too long. It's been too long.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. There's some good diners out here.
I got to tell you, that's one of the beautiful things about riding a motorcycle because you end up going to these weird places all the time.
We have to, yeah.
Yeah, because you just need a destination. So you'd be like, oh, let's just get eggs in Dwaynesburg. And then you just go there.
When I was a kid, we would go hiking with my father, me and my brother and my father. And we would stop at a diner along the way called Tam Diner. I don't know, it stood for something. It was TAM Diner. And it was like a trucker diner. And that was an interesting situation because like people like it was the same thing where you had the slightly mean staff that were like there to kind of keep you from fucking shit up. And then like there was like 3 things on the menu. It was like eggs or like pancakes, and that's pretty much it. It would remind me of my cousin Vinny when they go to the diner. They're like, yeah, I think I'll have the breakfast. And that menu is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. Do you guys have any diner stories or maybe brunch stories? Did anybody get too drunk at a brunch? I know that some brunch places do bottomless mimosas, which I cannot understand.
I always, way back when I lived downstate, we had band practice 4 days a week, and we would practice really late, and then at like 1 a.m, we would go to Johnny D's Diner, which is a great name
Johnny
for a
D.
diner. And
Johnny Dick's Diner.
Johnny Dick's Diner, who I believe the diner closed because of sexual harassment problems.
Couldn't keep his D in his pants.
But I would always order. We would get there, and we would all basically order the same thing. Like there was like 6 of us, and we would order a burger, cheese fries with gravy, and cherry cokes.
Jesus Christ.
It was good times.
That
and
sounds
I somehow
like
weighed 50 pounds less than I do now. And I remember we looked over once, and Baird was like shoving a fork down in his cherry coke, his empty glass, and we're like,
okay,
Baird, what are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, and he was trying to get the ice out of the way to get to the cherry, and he said, "This glacial migration is hindering my cherry harvest." That quote has remained legendary.
that is that's some vocal fluency, I would say there. I don't understand brunch places that like just throw booze at people because usually like booze is half the bill at a brunch place.
But I mean, I think most of those places are just trying to get people in.
Yeah, that's true.
And they overcharge so much for the plates of food that they actually do make money on it.
I saw a thing online today that was like the $1,000 lobster frittata at like some fucking brunch place in New York City. New York City is where it is the real fucking Wild West for brunch places. It gets nuts out there. I think that's where the bottomless mimosas.
That's where that start. That was the first time I ever had something like that. It was just like in like Brooklyn somewhere. It was
Like, please eat our food, please.
No, my I only have one weird diner experience, and I kind of thought I was gonna die. We this is when I was living in Baltimore still, and we went to the Towson Double T Diner after Halloween night because it was 24/7. So we got there like whatever 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was packed full of people. Like they're just as drunk as we were, and they're all like in their costumes and stuff. And someone somewhere in the restaurant threw a knife over the restaurant, like just threw it up in the air.
Okay.
And it landed on a girl's head.
Jesus.
It was a butter knife. It's not like it stuck or anything, but it did hit her, and it like definitely hurt her.
Yeah.
And I happened to be talking and like moving my hands a lot at the time.
Gesticulating, yeah.
And so this group of bros that was with this girl thought I had thrown the knife over the ceiling, and like this huge brawl almost ensued.
Hey, bro,
and, like,
throwing butter knife at my girl?
dude, they were like, and they were big dudes. Like there was like it wouldn't have been pretty. It was like me and like a couple other foreigners that like, and they're all very little, and like, and I'm not a big guy, but like I was bigger than all of them, so it was like we wouldn't have fared well at all. But luckily, like we used to go to this diner all the time, so like the owner of the diner was like the old Greek guy was like, no, like I'm sure it wasn't them and whatever. So like he calmed it down and like called the cops and like actually got those guys out. But I still don't know who threw the knife over the whole place.
It was
but
fucking Butter Joe, dude.
dude, it was crazy.
Butter
But
Joe.
it was a nuts. Like the diner was packed full of drunk people, and like it was bound, like something
Something was
bad
gonna
was bound to
happen.
happen.
Yeah.
But like I did not see that as happen because like we were just like chilling, and like this guy just like totally thought it was me. I'm like, dude, I did not fucking do that. Like I still have my knife right here. Like he's like, do you think I had an extra one? Like I was just no. Like
You should have squared up to him and be like, maybe your girlfriend should be made of butter then, bro.
I wasn't about to do. I was pretty drunk myself, but like I just knew that like it was like this wasn't gonna go my way. Like I didn't even try to be tough. I was just like, this is. I didn't do it. I was like so shocked. Like I was when the guy got up, and like it took me a second to even understand everything that had happened.
Yeah,
because I was like,
that's a lot to unravel all at once.
yeah, like once I understood. I was like, wait, so someone threw a knife up in the air. You think it was me? It hit that girl in the head, and she's bleeding. But now you want to kill me, and like I have nothing to do with any of this, and I just now understood what happened, and I'm sorry, but I didn't do it. Like
It was the Greek owner.
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
those kids sucked anyway.
Well, let's all just say thanks to the diners that are in our lives that get us through the dark times, get us through the late times with delicious breakfast food at all hours of the night. Thank you for your service. Moving on now to topic number two.
All right, so as a guest, I get to be number 2, and since Chris is not here to defend himself,
Oh, sweet.
I figured I would go with a sibling related topic. So my topic it's a 2-part topic. I think I'm pretty sure I did that last time too. And I'm sorry. But basically is, what do you think your life would be without your sibling? Whether it's a brother or a sister. In your case, it would be Chris.
Okay.
I believe Brendan has a sister, so it would be his life without his sister.
Okay.
And if you could have a super powerful character to replace your brother with,
Okay.
who would that be?
Okay. So without Chris, I don't know. I mean, he did hit me a lot as a kid.
That's going to come into the second part of this question a lot.
Okay. So, I mean, in reference to the second part of the question, if I did replace my brother with a superhero of sorts, I'm not sure.
It doesn't have to be a hero.
Okay, it doesn't have
It's
to be
powerful.
a powerful character, fictional.
Could be a
maybe.
villain.
Could be a villain. But I don't know how into getting punched by Iron Man I am, because I feel like if I replace him, his role still has to be filled. Because like,
Iron Man was not Iron Man until he was a grown man.
that's true.
As a child, he was just a fucking nerd.
Well, that's good. I could use a nerdy brother. But yeah, I think that Chris was definitely foundational in getting, in the family dynamics in general were foundational for my sense of humor, my personality. So I think that would irrevocably be changed without him.
For better or worse.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I wouldn't need a therapist. But I don't know that if, for example, Doc Ock was my brother, that I wouldn't be bullied by him. Because even nerds bully people, Rod.
True.
The more you know. What about you, Brendan? How do you think that your sibling influenced you?
Well, let's start with this. Is your sister older or younger than you?
She is 2 years younger than me.
Oh, so you were the dick.
Yes.
Okay.
No, actually, she was the dick. So me and my sister did not get along very well growing up or ever. But, we fought a lot. And she got away with a lot of shit.
Okay.
I think that my view of the world would be different in that I learned at a very early age that life is not fair.
Okay.
I
Fair enough.
learned that if somebody else breaks something and you are older and present, you will be blamed for it.
Well, you should have stopped her. So
Yeah.
maybe you think about that. Be more responsible of an older brother. Set a better example. How about
Exactly, that's what happened. I remember once she smashed. I had this sampler.
Okay.
It was an expensive musical.
I feel like
device.
we're touching some unresolved issues right now.
that? Yeah, it's becoming a
I'm,
therapy
I'm starting
podcast.
to feel like this is not a mundane topic.
So I had this sampler, and she wanted me to drive her to a boyfriend's house, and I did not. So I came home the next day, and something seemed off about the sampler, and then I realized it had been smashed and then put back into place,
Okay.
as though it had not been smashed. It looked like it had been put on the ground and then maybe hit with a bat a few times,
Jesus Christ.
and then reassembled, not glued back together, just placed.
Pushed back together.
Yeah, yeah.
And so my mom came home, and I was like, "Hey, I think Katie smashed my sampler." And she was like, "Well, how do you know she did it?" I was like, "Did you do it?" Because there's not a lot of options here.
It's like, yeah, I fucking smashed your
Well,
sampler. I hate your music.
yeah.
Shut up.
Well, I can't do anything about it unless I know she did it. I was like, "Okay, well then tomorrow I'm just gonna smash one of her things. You'll be in big trouble if you do that." Like, okay. So I think that my sense of fairness would maybe never have been shattered,
Okay.
which
You
is
would've
good over the
remained-
long term because life is not fair.
Right.
Correct.
So you would have
She made
remained
you-
a
She made
child
you a
forever.
stronger person.
It's very true. I agree with that.
She broke your stupid sampler, you fucking nerd. You ever think about that? Maybe you didn't need that sampler.
It would have been nice to have it.
It would've
I've
been
thinking
nice.
about buying a new version of the same sampler recently, just for old time's sake.
What kind of sampler?
It was an Akai S20.
Ooh, very fancy.
It was nice.
What about you, Rod?
So, I mean, I'm the youngest of four, but two of my siblings don't really matter because they're so far, like, older than me.
They're more like uncles and
Yeah.
aunts.
And then I have a brother that, much like your brother, it's just like a shorter, balder version of me.
Got
That's
him.
slightly older. And he's currently, like, you know, probably my best friend and like someone that I rely on for a lot of things. But for the majority of my life as a young person, it was absolutely the worst. Worst person.
Is
to
that
have
your
around.
brother? Is he at
It
the
is
fucking door?
not.
Is your sister
No,
here to break her
he's-
sampler again?
I'm hoping that that's just my package arriving.
Okay. My brother is actually in Brazil, so I don't have to worry about it, and he doesn't really listen to podcasts, so I'm safe.
He
But
was up here recently, right?
Yeah,
I
he
met
was.
him. Yeah, I
Yeah,
met him
yes,
for
yes,
Larkfest.
yeah, he's but the beginning of our childhood was not good.
Okay.
Nothing was good until I kind of left home to go to the military, and I also became a lot bigger than him.
That helps. So yeah, that's when I noticed that the beating stopped. Was when I never
When it
got.
wasn't fun for them anymore.
Yeah, I never got big. I think that what happened was at a certain point, the socialization of both me and my brother had gotten to the point where people realize that you just can't beat on your brother all the time. It's awkward around family and guests and all that kind of thing. So I think everything worked out after that point. I think that doing the podcast with my brother, not to get too autobiographical here, has definitely been a very positive thing for our relationship as brothers. We've always pretty much gotten along. Like I say that Chris used to beat me up, but I was kind of okay with it. I don't know. It was all boys being boys. You know what I'm saying? Just dudes being bros. So like, I think it's one of those things that, you know, having a sibling definitely, it's great having a sibling. Not having, like growing up with somebody your own age around definitely makes it easier, even if you don't like them. I think that it makes your life, it makes you not a fucking weirdo. Like, I think that only children can be weird sometimes because they don't ever get repercussions for their actions. And sometimes their parents just kind of cater to their every whim, and that can be a problem. Sorry, our only children listeners.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just had like a strange experience where I had someone in my life that I try to I kind of hoped it would die every day, and I kind of planned ways as like, how can I get away with like getting this person not to exist anymore? But if anyone ever did anything to him, I would have fucking murdered that person.
Well, you see that then,
And it's like a weird like thing. Is like, no, I get to kill him. No one else does.
well, your brother gave you the gift of planning and foresight. You were planning his death and how to dispose of his body and get away with the crime.
Yeah, just so that I can like I need him not to be in my life, but I don't want my parents not to love me anymore because I killed them.
Right. It's got to look like an accident.
It's a big no for most parents when you kill a sibling.
Infanticide is looked down upon in most circles.
I think I give a slightly more positive take on my sister too. It's not all bad. So my sister's kind of a misfit, and my sister is gay. And so at a pretty young age, I was exposed to people I probably wouldn't have been exposed to otherwise. Because just of who her friends were as a result of both of those things. And my house was kind of a safe place for a lot of those kids because my parents were always really cool. So people would come stay with us, if they had to, there was a thing they had to get away from their family or something like that. So that was definitely, that was an important thing for, I think ultimately I was exposed to a lot of people I never would have really been exposed to, which is probably a good thing.
Definitely a good thing.
But if my sister was a super person in either direction of super people, I feel like she would be an anti-hero.
An anti-hero. Like a Rorschach or maybe a Deadpool.
Or like a Venom.
A Venom?
Like somewhere like that.
Going
like,
full Venom mode?
Yeah, she would be like...
Hopefully not Tom Hardy.
Not always
Venom.
a bad guy. Yeah, not Tom Hardy Venom. Not always a bad guy. Not always a good guy, but kind of badass. When I got married last year, and when at my we were at the house like getting everything ready, and there were probably 15 guys in my family there, and she was the only person there who knew how to tie a tie.
Hell yeah!
So that tells you a lot about my family.
Bunch of Nancy boys. Okay, so Chris broke my nose when I was in 6th grade. He shook a tree and the tree fell on my face.
Oh, that's an accident.
That's an accident for sure. But
which is like, like everyone kind of like everyone who hasn't had their nose broken, such as myself, either wishes they did or they're just always ready for when that's going to happen.
You wish that you had your nose broken?
I wish I had gotten over with it at a young age.
Right.
Because now every time I get in a fight at this point in my life,
you think you're going to break your nose.
I think someone's going to break my nose because I've gotten extremely lucky too many times.
You must have a strong nose. One thing I will inform you about getting your nose broken at a young age or at any age, it's not like chicken pox. It can happen twice. But like my like nasal passageway is like forever fucked up, and I have headaches most days. So thanks, Chris. But so if my superhero friend brother, I think that I would I think I would go for a Charlie Sheen character. Maybe not Charlie Sheen specifically, but somebody who's just like completely wild and wasted that will not have the strength to break my goddamn nose.
You want your brother to have AIDS?
Yeah, like no, I'm thinking like he's got hands, but they're flippers, or like he's got like arms, but like robot arms, like they got cut off in an accident. He's got the prosthesis, but I can just take him away from him whenever he like is acting out. What do you think? Is this a viable
I feel like
option?
you're making up a character.
This is
Charlie Sheen with flipper hands.
Yeah, I'm thinking of drunk, paraplegic Charlie Sheen. What do you think?
It kind of just sounds like you're describing like Chris if
you could push a button and stop him.
Yeah, it's Chris if he just let that last inhibition go.
Yeah.
And you were able to just push a button to stop him.
What about this? What if we had? You ever see the movie? Oh fuck, what was that called? There was a Jet Li movie where they had like a dog collar thing that he put her. Was that the one? Was that the
Unleashed.
one? Unleashed. Could I get an unleashed collar and just put her around my brother's neck, just normal style right now? Because I'd take that as a
Probably,
trade.
yeah.
And just be able to zap him and say no more, none of that. What do you think? What do you think the market value for that would be? Because then
with Chris, that would be pretty good value.
I think I'd like to be able to just put him down for a second.
Because I also feel like he would just like let loose a little more, knowing that someone else is making the decision to stop.
When to stop. Yeah. Julie sends me a text and is like, hit the button. Just
do it.
Just hit the button. Don't ask why.
I will tell you this: Chris is my favorite drunk person.
Why is that?
I just like drunk Chris a lot. The way he talks is hilarious to me when he's drunk. He gets this very like, if I didn't know him, and he walked up to me and talked that way, I would think he's somebody pretending to be drunk.
He holds himself very well.
He does.
I can't tell
But
you.
it's just kind of just like, hey, like, whoa.
Well, the interesting thing about Chris and having, like, me being a person who has helped him get drunk several times.
Yes, you're complicit in this act.
He's very easy. So, like, I at one point before today, before I knew Chris wasn't going to be here, I had thought about talking about cutting people off.
Okay,
And how to cut your friends off, because I had to experience that recently during Aaron's memorial. And Chris is very easy to cut off because you can literally just ask him, it's like, are you sure? And he'll be like, nah. Because he knows, like, there's a part of him that is still sober enough to be like, no, dude, this is going to hurt.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't really, I'd never really had to cut him off. It's always been like, would you just rather have a water instead? And he was like, yes, that sounds good.
Looking out for me, baby.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the reasons that I think he's so amusing drunk is because I've never seen, like, he just doesn't usually go to, like, where it's like, oh, God damn it, now I got to, like, kind of
Now I got to deal with
Chris,
this.
yeah,
No.
Chris is never
He always hits, like, the sweet
drunk.
spot.
No,
Yeah.
like, he's like walking to the bar with eyes closed. He can barely talk, but if you're like, yo, maybe you should just have a water. He's like, yeah. That sounds good.
You got it,
like,
babe.
Okay. Like, you don't have to worry about him.
Yeah,
and
he's a non-combative drunk.
yeah, and he'll come back, like, you know, still with his eyes closed, and he's just like,
But
did I close my tab? I'm like, yes, you did. And
But
he's like, okay.
he gets this cadence of speaking that to me sounds like a person pretending to be, like, real tipsy.
Yeah, like
But
an
it's genuine?
old-timey
Yeah.
actor trying to pretend to be drunk.
I remember he bought me some Japanese whiskey
Okay.
on my
your wedding day?
at the poorhouse on my wedding night. It was the last thing I drank that night. It was actually the only drink I think anybody else bought me that night.
Nice.
And it was amazing. But he was already like gone by
Yeah.
the time because we had open bar at the
I
wedding.
probably had something to do with that because I pushed the Japanese whiskey hard because I love that shit.
It was so
I
fucking
love
good.
it so much.
To this day, still that was like one of the best drinks I've ever had.
Oh my god, it was so good.
And it was open bar at my wedding, and part of the reason that I invited Chris in the first place to my wedding was because I wanted to make sure I got the most out of my open bar. And I knew Chris would appreciate it. And he was like, "Dude, I got you this. Here you go." And I was like, "Thanks, man." He's like, "It's Japanese." And I was like, "All right, man." Thanks." Yeah, all right.
All right. So I think that we've squared Chris's replacement. Chris's replacement is going to be just. You know what? I'm going to replace him with Jet Li from that movie.
Jet Li from
Jet Li
Unleashed.
from Unleashed will be my new brother, and he can break my nose just the same, but I also get to choose when he does it. So I think that squares that circle. What about you, Rod? How are you going to replace your brother?
See, I have a hard time because I have to think about the past too. So, like, just like I was saying with like Iron Man, like, you know, at one point he was just Tony Stark, which is like I can manage that. But you know, obviously not with the super suit, so that's a problem. I definitely don't want like a Logan kind of scenario because like he's just gonna live way too long, and
Right.
you know, like it's just too heavy with the metal bones and shit. It's weird because obviously I love my brother, so I end up like trying to think of people that are like kind of like him, like that have superpowers. And like, I mean, he's bald, so Xavier comes to mind, but like my brother can't read minds. Otherwise all these women in the world would not be safe. I feel like he would be fairly well replaced by like Michael Fassbender Magneto.
Okay.
Like where it's like he still cares about people and
Yeah,
it's
he
like
hasn't
not
quite
really a
burned out
true
on it.
villain.
Yeah.
But it's got superpowers that he can do cool stuff and like bar tricks with lifting coins and whatnot. But he's like not like full blown bad yet. And it still has a brotherhood sense to him. Even if
and
it's
at the beginning
evil
of every
brotherhood.
every 2 years, you think he's like finally good.
Yeah.
And then he goes back.
And then he
again.
does something bad, but then it comes back around because he still cares for you. It's like, and at the end of the day, he's killing all these people to save you.
Right.
Yeah.
He's always gonna.
As long as you're part of the brotherhood, which I would be by being his brother.
Mm-hmm.
So that's most likely who I'd go with.
The only issue that I'm gonna have there, I'm gonna push back on, is you will have to break him out of plexiglass prison sometime. How do you feel about that?
I have a Dremel tool.
Okay. So you,
It literally doesn't take much.
okay. You get him out of plexiglass
Yeah.
prison.
Not the hardest place to break.
Not
somebody
the
out of.
yeah. It's like the only person that has a hard time is the person inside who doesn't have access to power tools.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's probably what it'll be. Because yeah,
I mean, I think that if we're moving and we're just replacing siblings and people we know with you know with superheroes and stuff, can I replace Brendan with Deadpool? Can I get a wisecracking Merc up in here? You know, he can come through, he can say a dick joke and then shoot me in the face or something whimsical like that.
I don't know if he could be a good producer.
also Brendan's better looking than Deadpool by a long shot.
It's true, but if Brendan,
Not saying much, but
I've always said this, Brendan has the best hair out of all the EIK fellas.
that's the one that has hair.
Well,
It's not much of a competition, but it is one that
really
you've
isn't.
won. You won it fair and square with no supplementation. I'm just saying, I just want a wisecracking, dick joke making, murderous burn victim to sit next to me and twist the knobs and and come in and say you're wrong or something like that, something on the podcast. What do you think, Brendan? Could you do a Deadpool for me?
Can I do
we can whip
Deadpool?
something out.
Yeah, you want to light me on fire
Could
first.
you,
and then...
could you do a Deadpool for me? Could you help me out and just do a Deadpool?
I don't know what do a Deadpool.
Just do a
is.
Deadpool. Come on. Put yourself in a tube with oxygen or whatever they did in the movie,
That
right?
was the movie.
Yeah.
it's like,
Make a, you know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll set you on fire and you think real hard about Ryan Reynolds. And it can be any movie. Could be Deadpool.
What about Detective Pikachu?
I'm so fucking mad that Danny DeVito is not Detective Pikachu. Why the fuck does Ryan Reynolds need to be Detective Pikachu? It's bullshit.
You could dub it over after it comes out.
I can't dub it over. Danny DeVito can
No,
dub
you
it
cut
over.
his lines from other movies.
There's no way I could get him
He's
to say.
been in a lot of stuff.
There's no way
He's
that Danny DeVito
that-
has said the word Pikachu before.
I'm pretty sure he has. Like, there's like that weird show that everyone loves that I hate.
It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, it's like you can put that on.
Just put that,
he said
just put
Pikachu
that
at
on
one
over the
point. Yeah.
top. It'll sync up. All right. Do we have any other thoughts on this issue? Brendan, do a Deadpool. Do a Deadpool for me. Please. Just do a Deadpool. Moving on now to topic. Number. Three.
Piggybacking a little bit off that topic before, are we collectively, the people, ever going to get sick of superheroes?
Oh shit.
Superheroes.
Not saying we should, just asking the question.
Is it on the
will we?
horizon?
No, I don't think we are, and like that's because we all want to see ourselves as something greater than we are.
Right.
And this is like a oddly weird time to be talking about this with like Stan Lee passing recently and whatnot, because he really was pushing like the whole like, these are my flaws, these are my shortcomings, this is what I would create to like surpass that. Like the characters were always based on his own needs, kind of thing, and I feel like we have that within ourselves. Like I think it's inherent that like we want someone else to exist that is like can do things that we can't do.
Right. It's aspirational.
Yeah.
It also goes back to kind of like mythological.
Yeah, they're the new
stories.
mythologies.
Yeah, it's very similar to that old form of storytelling.
Except we're not explaining why the fucking moon goes down in the sky with Iron Man. Although he could easily do it. I bet
Well,
you
the flat earthers
he
are
could
working
put a
on it.
fucking rocket on that moon and make it go down. I bet. I bet.
I think that if Marvel hadn't done such a good job, and we were still getting the shitty
Yeah.
superhero movies that we were in like the 2000s before Iron Man came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'd still have all these movies. Like, I don't think people would have. I think they would have said like, all right, you know what, the superhero thing's not working
I
out.
still think superheroes would be a thing. It just
just not as
it wouldn't be as
movies.
popular.
But I don't know
and
if
it wouldn't be as movies. But
Yeah.
we would still be doing it.
Yeah, but their movement from like fandom into like the general population being so enamored with them. Like, there was kind of a middle ground area for a while where like, okay, everybody knows who Spider-Man is, and like everybody knows
shoots
who
the
that
webs.
is, shoots the
Yep.
webs, and
Yep.
then
Yep.
kind of to where it is now, where it's like super the mainstream. Like you assume everybody's like gone and seen at least some of the Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, I mean, where you think that like everybody, where it was considered only a spoiler for Infinity War, like the snap thing was only like a spoiler for like 15 seconds after the movie, because you were assumed that you saw the movie like within 2 weeks, and that you had seen all the other movies before that, so you understood what was going on in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I love it because I love serialized storytelling, and I always loved comic books growing up, and I grew up a lot on the classic cartoons of the comic books too, like the Spider-Man cartoon and the X-Men cartoon. So to me, I just think it's awesome. The whole what Marvel's done is just amazing. Like, even the shitty ones, I'm more willing to accept them because they're part of.
Shitty ones.
I don't think that Captain America one was that good.
Which one?
Which one? The first Avenger?
Yeah, the
or-
first Avenger.
I never saw.
I thought
one.
that was a great
Really?
storytelling for that story, because that's a hard story to sell. And I do like that guy because he did the Rocketeer and stuff, like the director. And that was the right choice for that.
Yeah, stylistically, it's a good looking movie.
Oh yeah,
I just don't think it's paced well, and it has a lot of moments that to me feel like forced 3D effects for the 3D version of the movie.
My whole thing is like my ideal like superhero and like comic book character isn't the supernatural and over the top ones. Like, my favorite characters are like Punisher and Batman, like people that don't have actual powers. They just have like a mental breakdown that makes them do things that normal people wouldn't do.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I can't go to sleep because my parents were killed and I'm rich, so I'm just gonna fucking go out every night and just beat up criminals until like I feel better about myself because I never was able to save my parents. Or like, oh, my family was murdered, so now I just murder all these guys because they're bad people that would kill my family or families like my family. Those were like the characters that I was driven to. I was still into other characters, obviously, like growing up, but like I always like gravitated towards the people that were not like super powerful, you know, and which are rare, and which is why I think Marvel is better than DC. And if anyone's a fan of DC, sorry, like
Yeah, I think people usually who haven't read a lot of comics or don't realize that the thing where people think DC is like the gritty one, and then Marvel is like cartoony
Goofy,
and over the top.
yeah.
That's actually kind of backwards from
Yeah,
how it is.
it
It's
is weird.
Batman gives people that misconception.
correct,
In the-
because Batman is the most realistic,
Yeah.
like one, which is like the Punisher that doesn't kill. Like Batman and Punisher to me are very much in the same
Yeah.
level in a lot of ways.
Most
Yeah.
of the DC superheroes are like literally gods.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're just way too over the top with the power scale, and it's like I can't really connect to those people, and that's why like people hate Man of Steel, the movie, and I love it because I feel like that's the best movie you can make about a god on Earth.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is, and it's
Yeah.
just like him holding it back and him having to eventually decide, okay, I want to be human, and I'm killing the last person of my lineage to be part of this society, to save this family of this society. I thought that movie was great, but obviously DC gravitated away from that because it was supposedly too dark. But like Marvel is just, it's the power scale's a little lower, and it's just like people that are slightly better than regular humans.
Yeah,
for
they
the
also
most part.
it's also much more regular human problems for
Yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
too. Like Spider-Man faces regular kid problems
Correct.
over the years when he's in high school and college. And then even like the X-Men's obviously an allegory for racial
For
strife.
racial- yeah.
And then in DC it's just like we're all gods and we're going to go fight other gods.
Yeah,
It's a little like, okay.
Like
cool.
you have no human connection with it, and that's
Yeah.
that's what I thought worked with that movie. That apparently no one fucking cared.
Which one? Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, yeah. Which is his fight was like, do I want to be human or not?
Yeah.
Do I want to use my powers or not? Do I want to belong? And
Right.
it's like that was like because that's the only struggle you can have because anything else is like meaningless. He's just way too powerful. Like,
What did you think about the story? I don't know if this. I mean, I know that Batman v Superman was kind of shitty, but like the story, I think is pretty solid.
there's a
because-
lot of good points in that movie.
Yeah.
And the rewrites definitely didn't work in its advantage, but like
It's a movie that
and they
if
try to
written
push
better,
too many
could've
things
worked.
into it. But the solid parts of that movie are fucking great.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of
It was rushed.
Superman becoming a totalitarian character because that's the logical ending
It's
of
not-
having that much power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not stylistically bad. It's not even that the main like plot points are bad, like just the beats of it. It's just the writing.
Yeah.
It's just really fucking bad. And that's the problem. Like there are good ways that you could have played off the like, wait, we're actually similar. Maybe we
Yeah.
shouldn't be fighting each other. And instead they picked like the weirdest,
The fucking weird name,
shittiest way to do
fucking,
it.
like the name coincidence.
My name's Martha.
Oh wait, why did you say the name? I was like, oh, that's what's gonna do it. And like the way they introduced the Wonder Woman character was weird.
Yeah.
And
I haven't watched Wonder Woman, but I heard it's
and the Doomsday. Wait, you didn't watch Wonder Woman?
No, I heard it's really
It's
good.
actually
I don't know
very
why I
good.
haven't
Yeah.
watched it yet.
I fucking hated it.
Really?
It was-
Why?
Oh, because because I don't
The
like Gal Gadot.
mustache.
Oh.
I don't.
Yeah, it's fine.
She's not. No.
So here's the thing. There is a perfect person to play that role that would have fit very well, but she used to date Henry Cavill, so she couldn't do it.
Who was
Which is Gina Carano. She would have been a perfect.
Yeah, I just
Wonder
don't.
Woman.
I just don't like.
You would buy
Gal-
it, like if she was playing, because she can actually act okay.
Yeah.
And you would buy it, like physically seeing her, and was like, okay, this woman can fucking kick someone's ass,
Right.
It
Because
was,
she actually can.
I mean, Gal Gadot can. She can also shoot civilians.
There was
too.
a long time.
That's
that
the
people
issue
thought,
I have with her.
People thought Sarah Michelle Gellar was going to do it like way back in the day for a
Oh,
while
God.
because Joss Whedon was going to do it.
Nice.
I don't know if that will work. She's Buffy, and she should just be Buffy, and that's be the end of that story. Yeah, I think I'm a little worried about the future of kind of the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point.
What do we have as far as on the horizon as far as like cash-in movies? Because that's the next wave that's going to come. Now that we have all the successful movies that come out, there's going to be a bunch of shitty cash-in
Well, I mean,
movies with
Venom.
Yeah, Venom.
well,
there you go.
That did fall off, and I don't think that's going to connect
Yeah.
with the universe.
But
no,
that's-
no, they had like,
What's
rumored
happening
it, but they're
now
not
is like
gonna.
because with Disney Plus coming out, which is like the Disney streaming service,
Right.
they're gonna have those shows and they're gonna connect to the movies.
Yeah.
Um,
There's already a lot of shows that do too.
yeah, but they don't really connect directly. Like,
yeah, they're just in
you're never
the
gonna
same
see
universe.
you're never gonna see like the Charlie Cox like Daredevil in that
I
universe.
really would
which
love
would
to.
be awesome, but
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
would
just
love.
not gonna happen.
I would love to see the bad dude.
Kingpin.
I would love to see Kingpin
This
show
is
up in
enough
like
for you?
in a
Yeah.
in a Spider-Man movie
Oh, that would be dope.
because he's great.
Fantastic. No, and that's the thing has worked with some of the like people watch these Netflix shows and they forget, like they don't realize what makes the shows good, and it's not the heroes,
Yeah,
it's the villains.
Yeah, that's why that second
if you
season of
if you
Daredevil
are
was
to
good.
name any of the shows and you're like, oh, which ones are the best, you always going to be like it's
Jessica Jones season 1 because Killmonger
Killmonger
or not Killmonger, Killgrave.
Killgrave is great, and Daredevil season 1 because of Kingpin, and then Daredevil season 3 because of the Kingpin. Like
And
it's,
Daredevil season 2 was good when the Punisher was there,
Punisher,
and then
yeah.
it was lame when the Punisher wasn't there.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the villain, like inherently is better. It like makes the show better. And like if you look at Luke Cage, the season drops down after the second half because they get rid of Cottonmouth and it's just Diamondback and Mariah. And at that point, Mariah wasn't a great character, and Diamondback was not great. And
That's-
it's like, it's the villain really makes like your
Yeah.
antagonist is just as important as the protagonist, and it's like they fail to see that.
Yeah, but the Marvel movies, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, have gotten away with really paper thin villains for a lot of the movies. But the
Yeah.
really good ones always had the best villains. Like the villain, like
Still.
Black Panther, Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger was amazing. Just Civil War. I mean, the villain is each other. So
Yeah, well, that was.
the villain is kind of tangential, but
that whole movie was kind of like a plot device for other movies.
Yeah, it
which
was
is
the
fine.
setup of the
but
final
like,
sequence.
You got to say that like Homecoming is amazing.
Homecoming
yeah,
ruled.
Homecoming was
And like
phenomenal.
the
I'm
villain
so
is
glad that he's going to
fantastic.
They confirmed that he's going to continue playing that character in the
Because-
movies, and I'm really excited about that.
Oh yeah.
He did such a great job. Like, and it's like it. If you really look into it, you still have like you need great villains to make a great superhero movie.
Yeah, and that seems to be something that they figured out a little bit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe because, like, who gives a shit about Jebediah whatever in the fucking for like Iron Man movie? And
No,
like,
they completely ignored that movie because
like,
it
who
wasn't
cares
that
about
great.
Whiplash?
Like, yeah,
Although I will defend their portrayal of the Mandarin, even though that movie was not that great, but.
I
It
think
was
actually that
pretty
was
bad.
Iron Man 3.
I
Yeah,
liked
it was
that.
really bad.
I liked everybody wanted to see the Mandarin, and I liked that they took a character that in the comics is kind of a boring racist stereotype in the comics and played off that in the movie.
yeah.
They could have done a better job of the real villain being more interesting.
Yeah, correct. But like the actual Mandarin, like what they did to the Mandarin, doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
What bothers me is that like after that gets broken down, the real villain isn't that interesting.
Yeah, not interesting at all. But they've done a much better job. I mean, Thanos was fantastic.
Thanos is thick. 2 C's. Honestly, though, Thanos, he can get it. He's the one.
Yeah.
I think that Infinity War was pretty dope. I'm excited to see the Captain Marvel one. That looks actually
Yes.
pretty good.
I'm really
That's
excited
going to
for
be
that
great.
one.
And
I want to
thought
see her
Ronan
punch
was okay.
a bunch of different old ladies in the face. I don't care if they're scrolls or not. She just punch them. Did you see the trailer?
You don't care if they look like her?
I don't care, dude. No, just punch
Because it looks
old
like
lady.
her in old makeup.
Oh, is that what it was? I didn't catch it.
It looks like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it is, but that's like from the trailer, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
It looks like
I'm-
her in old makeup.
Punch old women, yeah.
I have no idea. I do not watch the trailers for these movies
I'm
anymore.
very, yeah,
Yeah.
no, nor should you. Like that's a good move.
I got burned
if I
too
could
many
avoid,
times.
I would.
Mm-hmm.
What
My
was the-
biggest problem right now is that I'm afraid of what the next movie is gonna do to the previous movie.
I think that they're
Because
going to undo.
if they go anywhere before the snap and bring anyone back before the snap, that movie has no weight and there's no point. If you can watch the next movie without watching those two movies,
So you're saying
then
that,
what is the fucking point?
so you're
Yeah.
saying that Loki needs to fucking eat it for real?
Loki needs to be gone. Heimdall needs to be gone.
I think if you died before the snap, you better
Anyone
be
who
dead.
died before the snap, maybe Vision. I can give you Vision,
yeah.
but like Gamora,
Yeah.
Heimdall, like
There's a-
Loki,
there's-
all those people are gone.
There's a
Yeah.
little bit of an argument for Gamora that she was killed in service of the Soul Crystal, therefore she'd be in the
she's
Soul
gone.
Realm and blah blah
Nah,
blah blah.
she's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure we're gonna get Guardians of the Galaxy 3 anymore, so it might
Doesn't
not
matter.
fucking
Yeah, James Gunn's done.
Right.
He's on Suicide Squad now.
It's ridiculous.
Wait, they're doing Suicide Squad with
James Gunn is on his next project is the Suicide Squad sequel thing.
Okay.
Which
movie
is going to
was-
be different. It's going to be
Yeah.
a different. It's a different Suicide Squad, which it happens in the comics. There's
Right.
like not always the same group of people.
Right.
And it's fine because whatever. Who cares about his like 15-year-old like tweet or whatever the fuck
yeah,
it
whatever.
was.
I mean, that
Oh my
was
God.
done by who was the guy that did it?
Mike Cernovich.
Cernovich, yeah, like an all
Whatever.
right guy.
It's what he does.
Yeah.
yeah.
The guy's the
So
worst. Yeah, I'm not sure. See, I'm really curious what's going to happen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now because after this, I think it's pretty safe to say that like Iron Man's going to die, Captain America's going to die.
Well, their contracts are done. So
Yeah, possibly
they're getting old.
Possibly Hulk.
yeah.
no, I think Hulk's
think
going to
they'll
have
hang on to him?
Nope, they're going to hang on to him, and he's going to have his own movie, but it's not going to be his own movie per se. It's probably going to be him and Black Widow.
That'd be cool.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
fine.
Hulk has trouble
And
carrying
I
a
mean,
movie.
You already know
always.
what the TV shows are going to be, which you just don't know where they play in the timeline.
Yeah.
But like the Bucky and Falcon show, that's going to happen, which is going to be like a weird buddy cop like movie, which is fine because like I don't even know if they just came onto this or if they knew it all along because they've been playing it on like with the weird like they have like a weird chemistry like where they're like kind of like fighting each other all the time like
Yeah.
on Civil War and like all along the movies. So I feel like that can work really well.
Yeah.
And I like Anthony Mackie, and I like the dude that plays
yeah.
Bucky. And I think that's going to work as a good show because neither one of them is like overly powerful to begin with. Anyway,
Do you think they're gonna after this next Avengers 4? You think they're just gonna fragment the stuff a lot more and not have it tell as straightforward of a story as these movies have led up to for a while?
Yeah, I think they will, because I think they're not going to be all like. I think a lot of the stuff is going to be more like Ant-Man and the Wasp, where they're like not saving the entire planet or universe.
Right, it's just one
all the time,
contained
which
story.
which is better, like in my opinion.
Yeah, because I think
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I always defend the first Thor movie. People shit on that movie a lot.
I never saw it.
That's such a hard movie to make, and it was. I think it was great for what it was.
Yeah, he just defends like a town. Like,
Yeah.
and
The town in Arizona.
It's perfect because it's a great way to introduce the first like way overpowered character.
It's just a very quick story arc for him. So like just like, oh, now I'm humble all of a sudden. It was like it was weird, and Kenneth Branagh did a great job like coming from where he comes from, like with like Shakespearean stuff and whatever. And he like directed the movie pretty well, in my opinion. But it's a very hard movie to sell, like because it's a fucking god in Arizona. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then they definitely dropped the ball with Thor 2 a little bit because he works better when he's not in his own.
Have
world.
you rewatched it though?
No, I haven't rewatched it.
It's not that bad.
I know it's not. None of the movies are that bad.
They're not
That's the
that bad.
thing
It's not
about
that
it.
bad.
Even the ones that are like on the lower tier,
Yeah.
they're still really
It's
fun.
not that bad. The problem is you're putting that movie up against the first one, which was a very hard choice on a very, very small budget for that scale of movie. To tell a long story in a short amount of time, because he didn't stay on Earth for a long time. Like he wasn't like working construction for years to then be humbled down to that point, whatever. So they rushed that story, but it still sold okay. And then there's Dark World, which it's fine when you rewatch it. It's actually not that bad. But then you follow it up with Ragnarok,
Which fucking ruled.
is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like quite possibly one of the it's quite possibly the best Marvel movie if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
mostly because of Korg, but
it's just
God, that
amazing.
fucking
Like
character
Taika
was so good.
Waititi, man.
yeah, he did a great job, and it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's great.
Um,
That's the
So
thing.
it's
They've
like-
really nailed it with like the last few
It was like-
years.
Yeah.
If you told me that I was gonna enjoy 3 Thor movies before they came out, I would have been like, no,
Not
it's never gonna
possible.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is the worst of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies?
Like the least bad,
The least bad.
the least good. Sorry.
yeah. The least good.
Yeah, no, because they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
they really
They're all
are.
solid movies for the most part.
The only one that I think
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3. The only one that I think is borderline is Avengers 2
Avengers with Ultron.
with Ultron.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It would have been fine if it was just an Iron Man movie and they just cut Thor out, like, and just had it be an Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
And then, but
So
it's just
yeah, I
not
mean,
all there.
they're kind of all tied together. Like as far as bad, Iron Man 3, Avengers 2, like Age of Ultron, and I gotta say the first Avengers as well.
Really,
The
I
first
like
Avengers,
the first Avengers.
the bad guys kind of sucked.
It's just plain, dude. It's,
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
You just
low-key.
like the story in the beginning
Yeah.
when they're like fighting over the,
The final
hammer and whatever.
The final
but
fight scene was kind of.
it's just like a long like.
It was just a
series
lot of.
nothing with like an army that you don't care about.
Yeah,
And,
that
like,
was when they had like the
and it's like-
aliens.
yeah,
flying
there's a
through
couple
and
good
shit,
moments where like the Hulk beats Loki around. And
Yeah.
That
like,
was
whatever.
fun.
But like it's not a good movie.
Yeah, I think that you're right that if they go back and they basically retcon out the Avengers 3, it's gonna be. I'm not gonna be happy about.
I'm
that.
not gonna be happy because it's like okay, so you just wasted my
Yeah,
time.
and all the rumors about time travel in the next
there's
one
definitely
makes
yeah, and there's definitely gonna
and
happen.
that makes me like really leery.
Time
that,
travel
like,
ruins everything.
it
Don't
Yes.
time travel. Ever.
you can take that, you can write that on your tombstone. Time travel ruins everything.
I mean, don't time travel in movies and don't time travel in real life either because the
Don't.
movies are always telling you not to time travel. So don't time travel.
Never gonna work. And we all know that time travel doesn't exist because if it did, we would see it already.
Yeah,
Well, I'm actually a time traveler. I brought back this robotic hand. Did you see that online? The YouTube guy? There's a guy that like last week said he traveled to the year like 2030 or 3030 or something like that. He brought
That's a big difference right there.
I mean, he was fucking just he was playing it fast and loose with
30,
the facts.
30, there's not going to be any humans around.
Well, that was the thing. That was after the humans were subjugated by robots, and he fought in the robot-human civil war. I think Ant-Man was there too. He got real fucking big. What's your favorite? Before we close up here, what's your favorite superhero?
I hate saying it, but I do think Batman is my favorite superhero.
Batman.
Yeah,
Andy, what's yours?
because it's Batman and Punisher. Like they're human and they're just crazy. Like I do appreciate that. I like Batman visualistically. Like, I just grew up with Norm Brayfogle, R.I.P. Like drawing him and just making it like great, like doing it really well. I do like Frank Castle and I like that his approach to things. But yeah, I just like people that are human that can do things that I wouldn't do because I have things to lose and they don't.
See, that's where I go the complete opposite direction. My favorite superhero is not from the Marvel Universe or the DC Universe. My favorite superhero is Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen because he has every power. He's a living god, and then he decides that he doesn't want to be around people anymore. It's great. Yeah, I like that. What about you, Brendan?
The funny part was I was thinking of saying Dr. Manhattan as a joke.
Dr. Manhattan is an amazing superhero. He's a philosophical question.
Well,
what do you do?
Here's the thing. As a funny thing to say and as like an entertaining thing, because I do love that character as an entertaining thing, Lobo is my favorite character to read.
Who's that?
Yes.
I don't know Lobo. I'm sorry, man.
He looks like a Kiss character.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
He's better than anyone you know. He's immortal because he's been dead and then beat the shit out of God and Satan. So he's not allowed to die. He has metal playing inside his brain the entire time. He never goes back down on a promise. And the only reason he's part of the Justice League is because at one point, Vildox was able to shut down the metal that was playing in his head. That there's actually someone held hostage that is a DJ that plays metal to him 24/7. Otherwise, he will be dead. He was able to stop the transmission, and that's how he was able to defeat him. And since it was part of the deal and he never backs down on a promise, now he has to do what Vildox wants him to do for the Justice League. And that's the only reason why he's part of the Justice League.
So insane.
Lobo's the best fucking character that's ever happened. He killed his entire planet. He killed most people on this planet when he was born, but then he invented a virus that killed the entire rest of that race. Nice. So he's the last Kazarian, and he's amazing. So in a sense, that's my favorite character to read, but like it's very unrealistic. But yes, that is someone that I'm still waiting to see
A movie for
or whatever. There's been several movies. Guy Ritchie was on that project for a long time, and it was about to get greenlit, and it was like it was greenlit, and it was ready to go. But then he got offered to do, and he was going to do like basically like a bounty hunter in space, which is like a snatch in space kind of galactic snatch kind of scenario. But then he got offered all this other money to do the second, what's the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie?
Oh, okay.
So he has to do the second one of those. So that got canceled, and there's been so many rewrites of that project.
Yeah.
That it's kind of crazy.
I feel like Lobo kind of belongs in a Deadpool movie, though, which is kind of sad.
He is, in a way, like Deadpool of the DC universe.
Aren't they both from pretty much the same era? Lobo's from the...
No, Lobo's a little older.
Earlier?
Lobo's older,
Okay.
yeah. Because like Deadpool was fairly new. It was like 92 or whatever. Like, it's
Deadpool
it's
actually,
Rob Liefeld. Like,
it's kind of like that kind of 90s. It's very 90s. Like, it's kind of the whole like fourth
Lobo's
wall breaking
before
thing was
that.
super 90s. I'm so surprised how well they made those movies work. But
Yeah, they did it well.
because it's unbelievable. I'm going to say for my favorite, I'm going to go in a totally different direction. I think I'm going to say Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Okay.
all right.
If
He's
it
a-
counts as a superhero?
He's a villain, right? Or
No.
No?
I'm gonna make this announcement real quick. I am about to watch the whole first season of Krypton,
Okay.
because the second season of Krypton, the villain is Lobo.
Oh, nice.
And they have an image of it, and it doesn't look great. It looks like Rob Zombie painted white. I don't really care because I still want to see it because I want it, and I want it to be popular enough that they can get the right person to do it, which would probably be like Dwayne Johnson with a wig.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would kill for that.
Yeah, and it would be hilarious, which it needs to be funny.
Yeah, or else it doesn't work.
No,
They should just figure out a way
he can't be Black
to
Adam.
put him in a fucking Deadpool movie.
He can't be Black Adam. He needs to be Lobo.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Jason Momoa should be Lobo. I'm like, no. First of all, Jason Momoa was already Aquaman, and no one gives a shit.
I'm not seeing that movie.
I will. I wish I would say. I can say I won't, but I will.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think Dwayne Johnson is a good Black Adam. Black Adam is a little bit darker and a little bit cockier than Dwayne Johnson would ever be. I think it would be a great Lobo.
I could see that.
I just want to see Dwayne Johnson go Deadpool, you know? Why don't you do a Deadpool?
It's the same
for me?
thing.
Oh my
Do a
God.
Deadpool for me. Just do it real quick. Just do a quick Deadpool for me.
By the way, if I had to pick somebody that was like really more of a superhero than just kind of a swamp guy,
Yeah.
I'd probably pick Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler's
Dude,
pretty
I do
dope.
like Nightcrawler. I don't know why.
Nightcrawler's great.
I
don't
think
know,
the
something
German
about
accent
Nightcrawler.
just gets me.
Yeah, it's just I like his power. I like his whole shtick.
I like that he has
His power is not that powerful.
I know.
it's
I like that
not.
he has like
and he's
one
super
power.
weird. Like it's like your power is to disappear and show up somewhere else, but anywhere that you show up, you stand out like a
I'll tell you what,
fucking
man.
madman. Because you're blue and you have a tail.
By far, the best scene of those first 3 X-Men movies was him attacking the White House.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah,
That shit was awesome.
Yeah, dude, he does that Bamf shit. That's the noise he makes.
it is the noise.
Bamf.
Bamf.
And fucking Wolverine's claws make snicket.
Snicket.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. I'm glad that I know that. I'm gonna check out this Lobo character. He sounds like a real Deadpool. Brendan, next week you're gonna go full Deadpool for us, okay?
Yeah, Lobo's basically just like Chris if he kept having Queens of the Stone Age play in his head.
If Chris had Queens of the Stone Age playing, that's my new. I'm going back on my second topic. I want Chris with the unleashed collar on and Queens of the Stone Age playing in his head constantly. He'd be unstoppable.
It's Josh Homme locked in a room somewhere.
Josh Homme just has to keep playing, and when he's too tired to play, he just has to listen to Josh Homme breathe, and he knows he's there, and it keeps him safe. All right. If you're still listening, thank you for listening. You can go to audibletrial.com/EIK to get a free audiobook and a 30-day trial of Audible. You can also go to our Patreon at patreon.com/everyone I know, I believe is the link. Or you can just search it. We're the only fucking podcast named Everyone I Know. And if you ever come for me, Mark Maron, I'll fucking, I'll get you. Conan O'Brien's got a fucking Everyone I Know podcast now. It's called Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend or something. I don't know why I'm giving him airspace. But he's doing it. He's talking to his
need it.
friends. He's not allowed to talk. If I was fucking friends with Will Ferrell, I'd be talking to Will Ferrell. But, fuck you, Conan.
You don't need Will Ferrell.
Yeah, fuck
I don't
that
need.
ginger.
Yeah, I got Rod. He tells me about Lobo, which sounds like a whole bunch of fun. Sounds like a real Deadpool. Thank you, Rod, for coming.
Thank you guys for having me.
And on that note, I guess we'll just say, be nice. Everyone I know. Do a Deadpool.
Do a Deadpool.
No.